following is a presentation of the National Sim Racing League of America. Enjoy the race. Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 3 in season number 5 of the NRLOA Rockstar Pro Series. We are here at the Brickyard, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, for the Indy 100k, a 25-lap race around this 2.5 mile speedway in Speedway, Indiana, part of Indy 250 week. This Saturday afternoon, we're ready to get these guys to roll for the third race of the season. It's been a very interesting season so far. A lot of thrilling racing that we had at Daytona and Auto Club to begin the season off. Where's John Andrews, you see right in the middle of your screen, starting on the pole for this event. He got the win at Daytona. Right behind him, Emily Anderson got the win last week at Auto Club in a wild race that saw 6 wide at one point. I don't think that's physically possible here at Indianapolis, so I do not think we're going to see it here today. I do believe this race is going to be a little bit more calm than last week's race was, but still, the racing will be fantastic, and it's going to be very fun to see who gets it done here at the Brickyard. Like I said, John Andrews starting on the pole. He's 4th in the points coming into today's event, and the gal behind him, she is the points leader here in the Rockstar Pro Series. Got the win at Auto Club last weekend, 33 points towards the championship for her. Larvin Alonso is only 3 points behind as he finished 2nd last weekend. Richard Kingard is 6 points behind. He starts on the outside pole here today. John Andrews 7 points behind, and Stuart Gratton 9 points behind coming into tonight's event. And like I said, John Andrews got the win at Daytona, and he starts on the pole here today. He's alongside Richard Kingard, who's starting on the outside pole. Row number 2, you got Emily Anderson in the number 14, who won her first career Napa Fan win right here in the Hers Dash Series season number 1. And she is flying high after that win at the Auto Club Speedway. She starts alongside Indiana native Nathan Stapleton, who was in the booth with us earlier for the IndyCar race. He's also won here at Indianapolis before. It came the last race of 2017, the IROC Series. He got the victory in the finale that season. Davey Johnson got the win earlier today on the road course here at Indianapolis. He starts 5th alongside the guy who's 2nd in the points, and Larvin Alonso. Number 4, Trey Bartow, who's won a Chick-fil-A Cup Series race here before, is alongside Cameron Gaju, who gave us the name for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race we run here at Indianapolis. You got Nick Smith and John Arndt, who is the defending winner of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series at Indianapolis. So, a lot of great guys, a lot of guys with a lot of success here at Indy, starting here today in this one. The only thing that's missing is an Indy 250 champion. We do not have any of the prior Indianapolis 250 winners in today's event, which is a little disappointing, but this race is definitely not going to be disappointing, as the racing here in Indianapolis is always fantastic. And we got the 21 of John Andrews going for his 2nd win of the season. Same with Emily Anderson. They both have a great chance at doing so here today as they start up front for the Indy 100k. Make sure everybody's rolling off, and everybody is. And everybody has a chance of winning this thing as well. I mean, only 24 cars in the field, a 25-lap race. There will be pit stops here today, so watch out for that. It'll be about a 2-stop race, I do believe, and if a caution comes out, that's going to cut out the time from the racing, so it's going to be a very interesting chess match here today at the Brickyard. Last race of the weekend, but Indy 250 week is just getting started. Let's go ahead and get racing in the Indy 100k in the Rockstar Pro Series. Davey Johnson leads lap 1. But to the inside, Emily Anderson on John Andrews for the lead. Not Davey Johnson, excuse me there. I was thinking about Davey Johnson, who is in 3rd right now, who got the win earlier today. He got that inside lane to work. Andrews, a crossover on the 14 for the lead. And John Andrews is not going to let this 14 keep this 14 out front. To the inside he goes for the lead, and John Andrews takes it back. Nick Smith trying to take 2nd away from the 14 of Emily Anderson. Here comes Trey Bartow, 3 wide for 3rd. And Bartow with a very bold move on Davey Johnson and Emily Anderson. Now Nick Smith started 9th for this race, and in only 2 laps, he's battling for the lead. Andrews leads lap 2. They only got a lead yet in this race, but Nick Smith taking it away here on lap 3. Davey Johnson clears Trey Bartow and Emily Anderson, and he's to the inside of John Andrews there for the 2nd position. Here comes Trey Bartow, and here's Joe Arvin Alonso, and you see Emily Anderson gets stuck in that outside lane. We saw it in yesterday's Hers Dash Series race. The outside lane is just not the place to be. You get stuck up there, you're going to fall back. And what happened to our outside pole sitter, Richard Kingart? You see him to the inside of Emily Anderson now as he moves his way back through the field in the number 88. Remember, only the top 10 finishers receive championship points here in the Rockstar Pro Series. So if you're not in the top 10, it's effectively you're finishing in last place, basically, because from 11th to 24th, they all get 0 points. It doesn't really matter where you finish from those positions because you get nothing. Nick Smith is still the leader. Davey Johnson going for 2 wins in 1 day here on Napa Fan, and I gotta tell you, he's got a great chance of doing so. He's closing right in on Nick Smith. Oh, and in the wall hard! Blaine Keys in the 42! And it looks like John Art and the 31 of Cody Sill will get caught up in this one with Nathan Stapleton. And Blaine Keys got spun off of turn number 2. And poor season just getting worse for our defending champion. And for the lead, Davey Johnson to the inside of Nick Smith. Coming to the line, it will be the number 20 who wins the race back as the caution flies here at Indianapolis. So it's Davey Johnson. Trey Bartow was able to get 2nd. Nick Smith, Hergel Arvin Alonso, and John Andrews. The top 5 coming to the line. And an opportunity for these guys to come down the pit lane. They'll race all the way back around, or not race all the way back around, but drive all the way back around to get to the pit lane. And it was Blaine Keys who went around there in the 42. And you see, or sorry, that's Caleb Hoffman. They have very similar looking race cars. There's Blaine Keys in the 42, as you see the rear end damage to his race car. Definitely not the day he was hoping for here, and if I'm not mistaken, he has yet to receive any championship points coming into this race. Nathan Stapleton, it looks like his day might be done. John Arndt was also involved as well. See the heavy damage to his race car, and the other guy, you got Jesse Turner with heavy damage in the 43. Did not initially see him involved in that accident, but he's got damage. And I forget who the other guy was who was involved in that one. It was Cody Sill, and I believe Cody Sill is going to be done for the day in the 31 machine. That is a tough break for him, as he is going to get knocked out at the end of that accident. John Andrews is going to stay out here as everybody else comes down the pit lane. So a very interesting strategy by John Andrews. If I'm not mistaken, he pulled this at Auto Club too. So Andrews, he got the win at Daytona, trying to salvage those points in the weirdest ways imaginable, but we'll have to see how it affects him in this one. Davey Johnson leading the field down the pit lane with Trey Bartow, Nick Smith, Hergel Arvin Alonso, and Richard Kingart now as John Andrews stayed out there. He was in the 5th position. Andrews the only guy staying out in the 21, so we'll have to see how he fares after this caution is complete here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Davey Johnson, first down the pit lane, and it will be a 2-tire stop. And that'll effectively put him in the lead once again, but John Andrews stayed out, so he'll be 2nd when we restart. And we'll get to that restart after we review the crash here from the Indianapolis 100k, the first caution of the day here at the Brickyard. They were almost going 4 wide here. Annie Thomas tries to get to the inside of Stuart Gratton, and Blaine Keys is to the outside of Josh Crash. Annie Thomas does not realize Blaine Keys is there. She gets into the 42, and the 42 comes down on Josh Crash, and right there in the outside wall hard went Blaine Keys. Nowhere to go for Jesse Turner. Right side damage to his race car. And you see Nathan Stapleton get involved in this one as well. Cody Sill, John Art. It was a very slow crash at this point when John Art got spun, but he ran right into the 31 there and almost went upside down. Tough break for the number 9, as he was going to avoid that, but just couldn't as Blaine Keys came across. And Nathan Stapleton also hit the 31 there at the end. Heavy damage on Cody Sill's machine. He's going to be done for the day after this accident here in Indianapolis. Replay of this in real time, and Andy Thomas tried to get to the inside of Grattan and did not realize Blaine Keys was there, and you see what ensues. And right there, John Art, I should say, got spun off the 42 and hit the 31 rather hard. Did not even seem like they were going that fast, so a very violent crash there considering the speeds they were going. I think John Art and Nathan Stapleton will be able to continue. We did see Stapleton come off the pit lane, but he's going to be a lap down. As for Blaine Keys, he might be able to continue, but he won't contend, and Cody Sill is going to be out of the race after this one. The leader is John Andrews. He decided to stay out under the caution while everybody else came down. Davey Johnson was the first off the pit lane. He'll restart second behind the 21 here in the Indianapolis 100k at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Indy 100k Season 5 of the Rockstar Pro Series, Race 3 of 15. Still early on in the season, but guys like John Andrews, Emily Anderson, they have definitely shown a lot of strength coming into today's event. John Andrews is the leader. He was the only driver to stay out under that yellow flag. So he's off strategy compared to everybody else right now, so we'll have to see if that affects him in a positive or a negative way. But either way, he is the leader. Nathan Stapleton a lap down. He's got some heavy damage to that number 11. He might slow up the rest of this field here. I'm not entirely sure. Davey Johnson was the first off the pit lane with Trey Bartow, Nick Smith, and Hergelarb and Alonso. The top 5 coming to the restart here in the Indy 100k. John Andrews gets the jump on the 11, and Stapleton is going absolutely nowhere. And the thing is, all these guys behind him, they cannot make a pass. They cannot attempt to make a pass until they cross the start-finish line. So Davey Johnson's going to be way behind the 21 here. Zachary Fitzwater goes for the 4th position on Nick Smith. He takes it away from the 22, but Nathan Stapleton, a log jam behind here, holding up his teammate Josh Crash, Cameron Gaju, Caleb Hoffman on the outside lane. Nowhere to go for these guys. And all these guys here on the inside were all involved in that crash Stapleton was involved in, and they're passing him as well. Even Blaine Keys with the heavy rear end damage to the inside of Stapleton. Stapleton, he's got a problem on that number 11. And the winning car in this race last year was Dale Salzman driving the 18 in the 2017 season. He got the win for Joe Gibbs Racing last year. Does not look like Josh Crash is going to get the win here today as he fell way behind there. Trey Bartow up to second. And Bartow now trying to close in on John Andrews for the lead. And remember, Andrews still has to make his first pit stop in this race while everybody else has already made their first pit stop. So Bartow, Davey Johnson, Nick Smith all in an advantage. How about the 48 machine of Daniel Bouchard? Closing his way through the field right now. Alexander Rowe as well. I believe he started in the final row for this race. There's Richard Kingart. There's the 24. I believe Andrews is coming down as everybody was reacting. And I don't understand this strategy, but maybe they're thinking this thing will go green to the end. And if that's the case, they're still going to have to make one more stop. But maybe they're thinking they can make it a little bit longer than the rest of these guys on the racetrack right now, or maybe think that the leaders right now are still going to have to make 2 stops anyway. So we'll have to see how that works out for John Andrews if this thing stays green. Anyways, Trey Bartow leading the field in the 4. Davey Johnson, Zachary Fitzwater for 3rd on Nick Smith. He took it a while ago, trying to take it back from the 22. And he has the inside lane through the corner. Davey Johnson on Trey Bartow. Not able to get there, and here comes Alexander Rowe to the inside of Zachary Fitzwater. And Rowe is going to tuck right behind the 41 as he gets around Nick Smith. Hergelarb and Alonso here as well. How about the number 1 of Nicholas Samadillo, a Daytona 500 champion? Going to get an Indianapolis victory. John Andrews is going a lap down in the 21. Very interesting strategy by that team. And remember, they played a very similar strategy at Auto Club. They still got points out of it, but I believe they stayed out under one of those cautions in that race, and they didn't really get the best of runs out of it. But John Andrews trying to get something to work here, trying a really weird strategy. He did win the first race of the season, but this is a points championship. It's not like we have a chase, where if you get a win, you're automatically in, have nothing to worry about. You gotta race hard every single race here in the Rockstar Pro Series, and if you don't finish in the top 10, the race is effectively worthless. Trey Bartow still out front. His teammate, Zachary Fitzwater, is clawing through the field very well here. He's to the inside of Davey Johnson for the second position. And Fitzwater is going for his 3rd win of the year. If Fitzwater were to win here today, it would be the most wins out of any driver on Napa Fan in 2018 up to this point. He's got 2 Chick-fil-A Cup Series victories so far this year. The Daytona 500 and the Interstate Batteries 500 from Texas. So, Zachary Fitzwater, one of the greatest drivers in NR 2003 history. It is such an honor to have him here on Napa Fan, let me tell you that. And he shows why he's one of the best. 8 career Chick-fil-A Cup Series wins, and he's going for another win here in the Rockstar Pro Series. He's battling with his teammate Trey Bartow for the lead. We're over halfway through the Indy 100k here at the Brickyard on this Saturday afternoon. Here comes Jalarman Alonso on Nicholas Samadillo, as Davey Johnson has Alexander Rowe and the 24 behind him. Daniel Bouchard. How about Thomas Troxel in the 19? He's in the top 10 right now. Thomas Troxel is probably the least experienced guy in this series, but he's doing a great job and trying to make something happen for this Joe Gibbs Racing number 19. And Richard Kingart is the last guy who would receive points the way they are currently running, as he currently sits in the 10th position. Andy Thomas on the outside looking in. Cameron Gaju, Tristan Allen, Caleb Hoffman still going for his first points of the season. He's yet to gain any points yet in the number 17. Not the way he wanted this season to start out. But you see him right there behind Marty Johnson, trying to close his way up to the top 10. Back to the lead. Trey Bartow has a mirror full of Zachary Fitzwater. And the 41 is going to be looking for this lead very shortly. Next time by, it's 10 laps to go here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. As they go down the backstretch, Fitzwater will not have a run to the inside, entering turn 3, and Trey Bartow will remain out front in the number 4. I believe Bartow is going for his first win of the year on Napa Fan. He is yet to win in 2018, but he's got a great opportunity here today, and we'll see what he does on this pit stop. So this is very interesting, and I think I see what John Andrews is trying to do. He believes that our leaders are going to have to make another stop after this one. John Andrews came down about lap 11, and there were some caution laps during that, so the fuel window might be only 9 to 10 laps here at Indy. And with when those guys came in, you see them coming in now with 10 laps to go. It might be a stretch for these guys to make it, and John Andrews knows he only has to make one more stop, and he'll be good to go. So he's going to try to stay out and make it to the end on one more stop. Well, these guys are already making their second stop, and he believes that they're going to have to make another stop in this race after this one. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out. Alexander Rowe led that lap right there. Alonso will get around him, and the rest of the field comes down the pit lane. Here's John Andrews in the number 21. We'll see where he comes out in relation to everybody else here. And it does appear that he's going to be rather deep in the field. You see everybody coming off the pit lane here. Trey Bartow in the number 4 gets off in the first position. Holds off his teammate Zachary Fitzwater. Thomas Troxel, a great pit stop for him. Third off the pit lane of those guys who came down. Here's John Andrews. And after all that, he'll end up 4th or maybe 3rd here. You got to remember, we still have some guys on the pit lane here who might be in contention to getting out ahead of our leaders right now, but pretty spread out up front, and it's Trey Bartow leading the field, or will be leading the field once this whole thing cycles through, most likely. Here comes Jalarman Alonso in the 24, however. We'll see if he comes off the pit lane ahead of the 4. Oh yeah, this is going to be interesting. Here's Bartow. He's crossing the line right now. Alonso led that lap right there. And as Bartow exits turn 1, Alonso is just entering turn 2 on the pit road exit, and he is going to get out ahead of the number 4. But Bartow has a full head of steam here. A lot of momentum on that Stewart Haas racing machine. He might try to make a pass on the outside of Alonso, and he will. Will he make it stick? They're side by side for the lead, and just like that, we got ourselves 6 guys in the lead pack for this victory. And there's the 24. Herjalarv and Alonso, best pit stop during that run. He is the leader as the caution flies here at Indianapolis. Alonso wins the race back to the line. Oh boy. This is going to make it interesting for John Andrews. I think it's going to hurt him. He's going to have to come down while everybody else is going to be able to stay out here, I think, and make it to the end without having to come down again. But John Andrews tried that strategy. He is running 5th right now, but he's going to have to make a pit stop right here. He's not going to be able to make it to the end without making another stop in this race. Try to see who was involved in whatever happened on the racetrack. Marty Johnson with heavy rear-end damage to his number 12 machine. And looks like he got spun by somebody. I really don't know who it would have been. So Alonso in the 24 finished 2nd at Auto Club. He comes into this race 3 points behind Emily Anderson. Emily Anderson has really not been seen too much today. She is 16th right now in the number 14. Not quite the run she was hoping for after getting the win last weekend. But the thing about Alonso is if he gets this victory here today, he'll definitely be the points leader exiting the 3rd race of the season. You see John Andrews coming down. And the good thing for Andrews is he will not be a lap down after all this, so he does stay on the lead lap, but he'll be at the end of the field after he makes his 2nd and what will be final pit stop of the race. The big question is, will the rest of the field have to come down again? And we'll find that out when we get to the restart and get to the finish of the race. But first, let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the 2nd caution in the Indy 100k here at the Brickyard. Entering turn number 3, Caleb Hoffman had already come down the pit lane, or is actually coming off the pit lane here, and I don't know what that is right there. He ran right into Marty Johnson, entering turn number 3, and into the outside wall hard went the 12. A 1-car incident here to bring out the 2nd caution. Marty Johnson might not be too happy with the number 17 after this one. But heavy contact for the Penske Racing machine. And doesn't look like he's going to finish in the top 10 here today. No points for Marty Johnson at Indianapolis. Replay of this in real time. Hoffman was coming off the pit lane, and he just completely dumped the number 12 of Marty Johnson. Maybe part frustration on Caleb Hoffman. Just considering how far back he was. Hasn't gotten any points yet this season, but I don't know. You make the call on that one. Really don't know what the cause of that really was, but Alonso catches in rather well after this one. A great pit stop by his pit crew, getting out ahead of Trey Bartow. He will lead the field to the restart here in the Indianapolis 100k. It'll most likely be the last restart of the race, and we're only going to have ourselves maybe about 4 laps to go to determine a winner. Who's going to get it done in the Indy 100k? Find out right now here from Indianapolis. Back here at the Brickyard, it will in fact be 4 laps to go in the Indy 100k in the Rockstar Pro Series Season 5. And here's Jalarm Alonso. He's going for his 2nd win of the year here on Napa Fan, and he's going to be racing a special scheme at Homestead in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series finale, as he is retiring from competition at the end of the year. He put the number of wins he has on the hood. If he gets this win here today, he's going to have to change that. Because he gave me an 11 and a 12. He already got 12. This would be number 13 if he were to get it here today. But he's going to have to hold off a lot of guys he's been racing with his whole career. Trey Bartow, Alexander Rowe, Zachary Fitzwater, Thomas Troxel. The top 5. And how about Caleb Hoffman? He's 7th right now. Tristan Allen in the top 10 in the number 2. And even Jesse Turner, he got damaged from the first accident of the race. He's just outside the top 10. Back to racing in the Indy 100k. 4 to go. And Bartow's going to stay right behind the 24, but they're all jammed up for the lead, and this is a best-case scenario for Trey Bartow. Can he get to the inside of Alonso? Not yet. Alonso stays out front in the 24. But no way in the world's Alonso going to hold on to the lead. Entering turn 3, here comes Trey Bartow. A slingshot move to the inside on lap 22 of 25. Trey Bartow has led the most laps here today, and he does not want to let this one slip away, as he wants another Indianapolis win, another Napa Fan win. And let me tell you, Trey Bartow is one of the top 5 guys for victories on Napa Fan. I think he comes into this race with 14 career Napa Fan wins. This would be number 15 if he were able to pull it off here today. Fitzwater on Alonso. That is for the 2nd position as Trey Bartow pulls away in the number 4. We only have ourselves 2.5 laps to go here in the Indy 100k. Thomas Troxel to the inside of Zachary Fitzwater. That is for the 2nd position. Nick Smith on here, Jalarman Alonso. Smith's teammate, Tristan Allen's up here in the number 2 to the inside of Alexander Rowe. They're all battling for 2nd as Trey Bartow attempts to pull away from the rest of the field. Be 2 laps to go this time by for Trey Bartow. Thomas Troxel has nobody alongside him, however, and he might have a chance at closing in and taking this win away. Tristan Allen to the inside of Nick Smith. Smith was not able to get around Zachary Fitzwater. Stuart Gratton, the 17, is here of Caleb Hoffman on the inside lane. They're all getting around the 22. And they're closing in on Trey Bartow. We had a last lap pass yesterday in the Hers Dash Series race. Will we see another one here today, or will Trey Bartow hold him off? Thomas Troxel would love to get a win. I've said it before. Probably the least experienced guy in the field. But he wants to show that he is meant to be a great driver, racing alongside 2 of the legends of Napa Fan, Trey Bartow and Zachary Fitzwater. White flag for one of them. It's Trey Bartow who leads it with 1 lap to go in the Indy 100k. Thomas Troxel to the inside of turn number 1. Bartow with a run on the outside, trying to make it stick. Fitzwater, he's got the advantage on the 4 right now, trying to draft him, but Troxel clears and takes the lead away on the final lap. Out of nowhere, Tristan Allen's up to the 3rd position. This thing is not over yet. Trey Bartow right behind him, but if Tristan Allen gets to the inside of Bartow, it's over and Thomas Troxel will win. 1 more corner to go here in Indianapolis. Trey Bartow trying to close in, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. And yet again, another last lap pass here at Indianapolis. It is the number 19 of Thomas Troxel who wins the Indy 100k here at the Brickyard. How about that one? I believe that was the only lap he led all race long. But how about this one for Thomas Troxel? A victory, once again, his 2nd career Rockstar Pro Series victory, coming here in Season 5 at Indianapolis, holding off Trey Bartow, Tristan Allen, Zachary Fitzwater, and Stuart Gratton. You beat those guys, you gotta be good. And Thomas Troxel, I must have said Trey Bartow. We got so many guys that have a TR in one of their names. We got Thomas Troxel, Trey Bartow, and Tristan Allen. A lot of TRs there. But Thomas Troxel, the winner here at Indianapolis. He got a win at Zen Joltis last season. I believe that's his only career Napa Fan win up to today. I could be wrong about that, but how about that for Thomas Troxel? I mean, he's one of the low-key guys. He gets the opportunity to drive alongside the vets here today, and he shows them how it's done, beating Trey Bartow at his game. You don't do that every day, and Thomas Troxel, the winner here at Indianapolis. Thomas Troxel, Trey Bartow, Tristan Allen, Stuart Gratton, Zachary Fitzwater, Nick Smith, Caleb Hoffman, his first points of the season. Here's Jalarman Alonso, Daniel Bouchard, and Emily Anderson able to salvage a point here today in the number 14. Everybody else, a big goose egg here at the Brickyard, but it's just the way it goes sometimes. And we'll have to see what happens 2 weeks from now as we head to Texas for the Great American Shootout, inaugural event here for the Rockstar Pro Series. That'll be an interesting one there. 42 laps at the Texas Motor Speedway. But anyways, Thomas Troxel, the winner here at Indy. And I believe it's his second career Napa fan win. I do know it's his second career Rockstar Pro Series win, so congratulations to the number 19 for getting it done here in the third race of the season. Anyways, that concludes this weekend for action in the Indy 250 week. But next week, starting on Tuesday, we got the first practice for the Indianapolis 250, Indy 250 qualifying on Wednesday, and a boatload of other events leading up to the big event Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, I should say. Not at 9, at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. The Indianapolis 250 right here from the Brickyard. It'll be amazing, and looking forward to seeing who gets the victory in that prestige event. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching once again. Congratulations to Thomas Troxel for his win here at Indianapolis. And here are the point standings for the Rockstar Pro Series after 3 races. I will see you guys later.
Can't be broken. Words fly, but you never let them land.